So I'm just laying in bed, just brainstorming, thinking about what I'm going to say tomorrow. I was asked by my high school coach to go and give a speech about getting a scholarship in the U.S. Kind of nervous a little bit. You always get nervous with these things, but it's cool to be able to make a difference. I'll go up there like a... Hi, kids. I was once listening to someone talk about this.
Ooh, this guy
Now
sucks.
I'm the person talking about it, and you're you,
suck
and
at giving
you're there.
speeches.
And I'm here.
Shut up.
I'm not in front of you talking about
You're trash.
scholarships.
I'm not
and
even
I had a
inspired by your
scholarship.
story at all right
I
now.
got one.
Why did I even come
You can
here?
get one too. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I have a whole speech written out, and I rummaged through my closet to find some stuff to give out to the kids. It's for the children. It's for the children. I had to hop on the transit to go give my speech. My speech. Back here. Oh my God. It looks the same. Scooting. You beat me. You just beat on the sidewalk. Jeez. It's crazy. It's crazy. I was just this little nappy-headed boy, skinny, with big dreams and a tough work ethic. I'm gonna give you some tips from my experience. If I had what I'm gonna give you when I was your age, I would have been in an even better position. It's not always gonna be a glittering situation where you get whisked away in a Cinderella story and you have a great time at college and da-da-da-da. I've seen so many times where athletes will go to the States and it's not exactly what you expected. It's not anything like you expected. And I've experienced both aspects of it. I went to two schools, my first school being in Maryland, University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. It was a D1, smaller D1. I got a full scholarship and I didn't have the knowledge I had now. So when I got that scholarship, I just signed. I'm like, oh, I'm going off, I'm D1. Who here is D1 bound? Who wants to be D1 bound? What do you gotta do to get there? Work? What does that mean?
Like schoolwork, stay focused, have a good work ethic.
What do you gotta do to get there? Same thing needs to. There's more than one thing. You're just gonna work? The work is half the job. I'd say a program looks for three main aspects of an athlete and their capabilities and skills. The first of which, and not like these aren't in any order, they're all equally as important, and that's what you have to realize. It's your performance. You have to perform. So whatever sport you do, basketball, track, I ran track, I had to perform, I had to do well in order to get the attention. But that's only your foot in the door. That's not gonna solidify a scholarship. The second thing is your academics. A lot of people fall short. You have to be a good student. A coach will see what you did, and then they'll look at your grades. They'll put you in a pile of, thousands upon thousands of applicants and people that are able to perform at a certain level. But you're student athletes, student before athlete. There's so many occasions where I'd see someone fall short on the student part, you get put on academic probation. What that means is you're not allowed to compete. And if you stay in that long enough, you literally can lose your scholarship. And then the last aspect I'd have to say is your character. That's something that a lot of coaches, a lot of people don't talk about and don't mention. Capacity for potential. If you have someone that you see, they have the mindset, they have the work ethic, they just haven't been given the resources or their circumstances or something that makes it harder for them to succeed. If they have that character and that personality that meshes with the coach, then they'll give you an opportunity. That's a big part where it's like you have to work on yourself. You have to market yourself. You have to be a marketable person because that's what they want. Because you're becoming a brand ambassador for their program. I graduated, but I still wear this stuff. I just graduated in May, but I still wear this stuff to this day because I'm part of this program and this program is a part of me. I'm a part of University of Houston. I represent them. Even after graduation, everything I do, they'll always say, that guy went to Houston, that guy went to campus. Scholarships are really glorified and people look at it like, oh, it's this thing that I want to achieve. But for everyone in here, it's a realistic goal. Think about it. How many schools are in the US? Does anyone know? I don't even know. Each state has countless private and public universities. All of those schools have teams. All of those teams give scholarships. You know how much scholarships that is? It makes it more realistic when you think about it like that. Like, there's a lot of scholarships out there. Why can't I be the one to get it? There's two key things that I wish I knew when I was trying to get.
Hey, this boy late, man. I wanted to give him attention. This boy late to Mr. Kerr's class. Call me Mr. Kerr.
Get a scholarship was exposure. Exposure one being get yourself out there. Be involved in your school. Expose yourself in a sense that if you're doing, I'm going to talk about track racing because I run track. Make Team Ontario, make Team Canada, make the big meets, perform at championships because it's that exposure. Those are the meets that the recruiters are looking at. Lastly, and I cannot stress this enough, is take initiative. What school do you want to go to?
I don't even know.
What grade are you?
9.
Well, you're young, so I'm not going to blame you for this, but it starts now. Look what schools you want to go to. Start eyeing, because it's not all on the schools, it's not all on the coaches. If you want to be an athlete for a university, someone that takes initiative is a lot more valuable than someone that just sits on their ass. If you're on the couch watching TV and you want to get a job, you think someone's just going to call your phone and say, oh, I'm giving you a job? You think that's going to happen? Anyone? Has that ever happened to anyone in here? Mr. Johnson, has that ever happened for you? Because that's exactly what the scholarship is, a job. You're getting paid to represent that university. It may not be direct pay, but you're getting an education, you're getting room and board, you're getting all this stuff. That stuff is a job, and you have to treat it like that. So, in saying that, reach out, go out and look for a job. Look for a school. Contact coaches. You can't contact coaches till you're 11th grade. Don't quote me on that. But once you're of that age, you can contact them. You can start building a relationship with those coaches. And as a coach, I'm going to pick someone that reaches out and makes my job easier, because then I don't have to search through the millions of people across the world. Because one, if you're doing what they need you to do athletically, me, I was jumping within a range where I knew I can get in a higher tier school. 2, my grades were good, so I know I felt in that, okay, this is a good student. My coaches never had to worry about me. They never had to be like, go to class, do this. And they love that. 3, I think I'm a good person. I have a good personality, I have a good character. And so I knew that, but I never reached out to schools. I never talked to these schools until my second time around. And that's why when I first got my scholarship offer, I signed, went there. It was a D1. I did well, but I was not happy. And it started to affect my school performance. It started to affect my actual performance. And then a lot of stuff happened. I basically don't want to get into all that. Stuff isn't always going to be perfect. It's not. I had a horrible situation. I literally got kicked off the team because I wanted to leave the team. And then that put me in a situation where he wouldn't let me transfer and all of that. I ended up getting out of that with 3 lawyers and 8 months of appealing and NCAA hearings and all that. Then I got to Houston. When I got to Houston, my previous circumstance made me appreciate it more. And I was happy, and I'm happy with that decision to this day. I graduated, I still go back there, still have a lot of friends back there. I'm starting to work towards a pro career, and that's where I want to base that out of. And that all stemmed from the second time where I reached out to schools, I had people left, right, and center. I was calling friends at schools like, does your coach need a long jumper? Does your coach need a long jumper? He'd be like, yeah. They hear about me, they look at videos, they're like, this guy's good. Like, yeah, let's get him. Because I reached out. If I didn't reach out, that opportunity wouldn't have been there.